We spend so much time of focusing on what medication we should take and making sure we get the dose just right. But what if I told you that when you take it could be just as important, maybe even more so? Today, we're going to dive into the incredible science of timing. It's a question probably every one of us has had. You look at the bottle, it says, take once daily, and you think, does it really matter? Well, according to a whole field of science, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. It can matter a whole lot. For the longest time, medicine has been all about the what, this pill at this dose. But the real cutting edge thinking is shifting to the when. And this isn't just about what's convenient for your schedule, it's about syncing up your treatment with your body's own internal clock, its natural rhythm. It's a field called chrono-pharmacology. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the whole when versus what idea. Then we'll meet your body's own internal conductor. From there, we'll look at some real-world examples, managing that morning surge for your heart, tackling the afternoon peak and evening tide for things like pain and reflex, and what happens during the body's midnight shift. And then we'll wrap it all up with your next smart step. So to really get why timing is such a game changer, we first have to meet the maestro, the powerful biological clock that's ticking away inside every single one of us, right now. I want you to think about your body like this. It's a massive, finely tuned orchestra. You've got your heart, your liver, your lungs, even individual cells, and each one has a specific part to play. For the music to sound beautiful, they all have to be playing in perfect time. And of course, every great orchestra needs a conductor, right? Well, in your body, that conductor is a tiny little spot in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Let's just call it the SCN, it's a lot easier to say. This is the master timekeeper of your entire body. Now, get this. The SCN isn't just some passive clock on the wall. It is an active conductor. It sends out signals that synchronize the tiny little clocks inside of almost every cell in your body. It's literally telling your organs when to wake up and get to work and when to quiet down. This is what creates those daily cycles we call circadian rhythms. So let's take a little trip around the clock. This is the journey we're about to go on. We'll start with that morning surge that affects the heart, move to the afternoon peak for joints, then the evening tide in the stomach, and finish with the all-important midnight shift for the liver and lungs. First stop, the morning. This is a super important time of day, especially when we're talking about your heart and cardiovascular health. Think about it. Between about 6 and 9 a.m., your body is kicking into gear for the day. Your blood pressure and heart rate naturally spike up. Now, that's normal, but for someone with high blood pressure, this morning surge is actually a high-risk window. So here's the smart strategy. Research has shown that taking certain blood pressure meds at bedtime means the drug is at its peak power right when you need it most, first thing in the morning, to help smooth out that potentially dangerous spike. All right, let's fast forward a bit. As the day rolls on into the afternoon and evening, our body's rhythms change, and we face different challenges, like pain and that dreaded heartburn. Have you ever noticed that your arthritis or maybe some old joint injury just feels way worse in the evening? Well, you're not imagining it. Turns out your body's production of inflammatory stuff often hits its peak in the late afternoon. So by timing your anti-inflammatory meds like NSAIDs for this window, you get ahead of the pain, which means you'll have more relief in the evening and can hopefully get a much better night's sleep. Okay, now for acid reflux. And this one might surprise you. Your stomach doesn't just make acid when you eat. Nope, it follows its own clock, and acid production naturally goes way up late at night, usually between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's why timing your reflux medicine is so critical. Taking it 30 to 60 minutes before your dinner gives it time to absorb and shut down those acid pumps before that big nighttime surge even gets a chance to start. And that leads us right into the midnight shift. This is the crucial, often overlooked work that your body is busy doing while you're sound asleep. While you're dreaming, your liver is wide awake and working hard. It actually produces the most cholesterol during the night. So it just makes sense, right? Taking certain statins at bedtime lines up the drug's peak power with the liver's peak production. At the exact same time, for people with asthma, lung function can often dip overnight, making attacks more likely. So a preventative dose from an inhaler in the evening can be an absolute lifesaver. Wow. Okay, we have traveled all around the body's 24-hour clock. We've seen how timing affects everything from the heart to the liver. So the big question is, how do you take all this incredible science and actually use it? It's really pretty simple. Step 1, just acknowledge that this clock exists inside you. It's real. Step 2,
Understand that timing your meds to work with that clock, not against it, can make a huge difference. And step 3, and listen, this is by far the most important point, do not change anything, not a single thing, about your medication schedule without talking to your doctor or pharmacist first. They're the experts on your specific situation. This really says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just some neat scientific fact. It's about being smarter with our treatments. It's about using this deep knowledge of our own biology to get the best possible results. It's just smart medicine.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. A simple question, but it might just be the beginning of a really important conversation for you and your doctor. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.